Welcome to the Rise and Grind Workshop. If you're new here, my name is Ryan, and you might be thinking to yourself, you're not in a workshop. Well, guess what? Today, this is our workshop, and this could be your future workshop as well. The amazing team over at EufyMake hand-selected a few of us content creators to go ahead and review and test out this brand new E1 desktop UV printer. And if you have spent any time browsing social media, you're going to notice UV printing is all the rage right now, and we are extremely excited to share this new unit with you. And just in case this is one of your first unboxings here at the Rise and Grind Workshop, you're in for a treat because we're going to walk you through the entire process of unboxing, setting it up, getting your software installed, and you guys take a look at this. They went ahead and sent us an amazing package full of all kinds of art. We have magnets, we have tumblers, we got some canvas art, we've even got some AB film. So we're gonna be able to walk you through the entire process of how to use some of the accessories, including this rotary printing attachment, a UV DTF laminating machine, and we're also gonna go over all the different types of inks as well. I'm really loving this space gray and black color. It gives it a really nice modern and sleek look to it. And Eufy really knocked it out of the park with this one. They've integrated some handles right here on the side of this unit. Not only is this a desktop UV printer, you can now make this a portable UV printer. This right here is going to be your build plate, and this is going to be a tacky build plate. And underneath of the tacky build plate, this is going to be your standard build plate platen with a nice quick release. Now I know everybody, especially us guys, just love to read these instructions, but Eufy did provide a nice, high quality, very thorough, detailed quick start guide. I would highly recommend you take a look at this, and this is exactly what we're going to be following to start getting this printer all set up so we can start printing right away. Now, when it comes to UV printing, ink can play an extremely important role, not only in the quality of your print, but in the durability as well. Eufy really knocked it out of the park again. They created their own proprietary ink, and this is a neutral ink. Most your commercial UV printers require the user to select either a hard ink or a soft ink, and some of those printers can't even interchange. You would actually have to purchase two of them if you wanted to have that flexibility. Gone is that hassle. With this neutral ink, it has some flex in it. So you guys are going to be able to print full color hat patches on items like leatherette, canvas bags, etc. You can then immediately transition over and start printing on something like a slate or ceramic coaster, and you don't have to convert over to a hard ink. These inks are hassle-free. They're in a sealed cartridge, and you're going to get a full CMYK with a gloss varnish. Each cartridge will hold 100 milliliters of ink, and you can purchase an entire replacement set or individual cartridges. These will be available from EufyMake and third-party online retailers such as Amazon in the future. Go ahead and locate the power cable and identify where you're going to plug it in. It says power right here, and you will simply put that plug right into that opening. Now with the unit plugged in and the green light activated, go ahead and open up your ink box and get each individual cartridge open. You will also get a cleaning cartridge for the E1, making this hassle-free maintenance. Gone are the days of messy ink bottles and spilling UV ink all over your workstation. These are a nice enclosed unit, 100 milliliters each. Go ahead and locate your ink cartridge and line up the corresponding color. This is rounded on the back end and flat in the front. You could really only put this in one way. Get that aligned, drop it down in there, and you want to give this a nice press till you hear a good click. Just like so. And don't be alarmed if you see some red flashing lights. Once you drop your ink cartridge in and give it that nice seating, it's going to flash red a couple times, it'll turn green, and then that light will disappear. Move on down the line. Now go ahead and find your cleaning cartridge. You're going to remove the side cover. You'll notice 3 little red silicone protective covers. Go ahead and remove those. We now need to install the filter. Open the front cover, gently remove that faceplate. Go ahead and press that into its place. That is a nice snug fit. Well, congratulations. If you've been following along with this install process, you should be right where I'm at. We're going to now move right on to the software installation, and hopefully we'll be printing in no time. Prior to installing the software on your PC, it's recommended that you use the mobile app. The mobile app is compatible with both Android and Apple. as well as the desktop versions are compatible with both a Windows-based PC or an iOS system as well. You'll want to navigate to the App Store and download the EufyMake app. Go ahead and go through the registration process. Once you get to the home screen, verify that you have the newest firmware version installed, and you will notice the big green button that says Add Printer. Go ahead and press Add Printer. You should notice the Eufy E1 printer. Go ahead and click on that icon. On the next screen, choose Wireless Connection. You should see the EufyMake E1. Click on that. Press the button on top of your printer to confirm the initialization. Now we're going to choose our Wi-Fi network. Once you're connected to the printer, you'll get the good green check mark saying a connection has been made. Go ahead and click Next. Once you've made your successful connection, go ahead and click Done. Now the exciting part. On the screen, you're going to see the CMYK colors all lit up, and it will say Device Initialization. Go ahead and hit Start. New firmware available. So right now we're going to do a new firmware update. Once you reach 100%, the device will restart automatically. It now says updated successfully. We'll go ahead and press done. It is now doing a calibration. It is self-checking. Please wait 1 to 2 minutes. Once that reaches 100%, it'll automatically do a restart. Go ahead and click done. You're now going to be at the device initialization and calibration section. You now have to finalize the device initialization before printing, so go ahead and hit start. And now the fun part, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially injecting the UV ink into the UV printer. It says it's going to take approximately 15 minutes. Moving right along, I guarantee you right now we're going to find some people sleeping on the installation process and they're going to miss this step. Go ahead and open that front cover and go ahead and remove that small flat tray. This right here is going to be our printing test reference card. On the back side of this, you're going to notice a clear film. Now's when you're going to go ahead and remove that film carefully. Don't be touching the middle of it. And again, you're going to have a little 45-degree angle here. You're going to match that up where this tray slopes down. Just get that lined up where you want it. Place that back into the little cradle. Slide your lever over to lock it into position. And then go ahead and close that front door. With that door closed, you're going to go ahead and click Next. It is now doing another check status. This status says it's going to take about 60 seconds. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I am pretty darn excited. That was our first print on the EufyMake E1, the world's first 3D texture desktop UV printer. Let's go ahead and open that front cover and get that test sheet out and take a quick look at it so we can move along in the process. Go ahead and open that front cover, loosen that lever up. So again, guys, Eufy has absolutely made this process seamless. The app is telling you exactly what to do. Right here it says, is your test printing consistent with the above sample? They literally give you the sample. You can hold your phone next to it and take a quick look at it. For us, the sample looks perfect. We're going to go ahead and hit yes. The check status takes around 60 seconds. Do not close the app or lock the screen. Flatbed not detected. Please install before printing. So let's put that back in. So again, the app is telling us exactly what is happening with our new EufyMake E1 UV printer. It is calibrating the camera, and that says it's going to take approximately 10 minutes. Well, if you've been following along with the process, congratulations. You've now set your UV printer up and it is ready to print. This is honestly one of the most exciting packages I've gotten to open up. I'm really excited to start firing some prints away on this thing. So again, I'm really impressed with the ease of use. Eufy has really thought this entire setup process through. They're walking you through the whole process. Let's go ahead and get that front door open, and it says you can now go ahead and remove this white portion that we had stuck down here earlier. Now this part is really cool. Remember in that accessory box, you found those 3 white ceramic tiles? It is now telling you to go ahead and scroll through these quick designs right here. I have a little 5-year-old boy. I figured he would love this little dragon. Let's go ahead and get that mounted up on that table and I'll show you how this thing prints. Simply place the magnet on the adhesive mat with the printing side facing upwards. Go ahead and place your tile on that sticky mat. Let's go ahead and follow the on-screen instructions. So again, the app is leading the charge. It's going to tell you to hit this thing that says snapshot, and the camera is actually going to take a picture of the tile. So right here, guys, very simple. Drag your design to the position you want to print at. That little white spot, that's the tile, believe it or not. All we're gonna do is drag that little image right onto the tile. A lot of people wonder how to do positioning with a UV printer. This right here is showing you how seamless this is. See how all I did was tap on that icon? Now I can move it around inside this app. So all I'm wanting to do is get this aligned perfectly onto that white tile. That looks fantastic to me. And take a look at this. Start print. Ready to print. Once the printer's ready to go and the file is loaded, it says to press the green start button right here. Let's do it. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I am smiling ear to ear. This is the world's first 3D textured UV desktop printer, and take a quick look at that. Can you honestly see yourself picking up a unit like this, going through that setup process, and knocking out your very first UV printed item? Not only a UV printed item, this is a 3D textured item. They took all the steps out of the process, and we nailed that one. Now that we have the EufyMake E1 completely set up and calibrated, and we've ran our first successful test print, we're really going to put this thing through the paces, and we're going to start showing you exactly how to use the software and go through all of the items that they sent with us. Let's go ahead and start by showing you how the quick change system works. You're going to have a locking mechanism right here in the front. It's a basic left and right lever. It shows it locked and unlocked. Go ahead and unlock that lever and remove the small platen. And just in case you're wondering, this is 4 inches by 12 inches. Now let's go ahead and grab the standard platen and prepare this for our first print. And just in case you're wondering, this has a maximum print area of 12 inches by 16. Now with your tacky mat installed to the build plate and the paper still on top, if you flip this platen over, you're going to notice this large rectangular area, and then you're going to notice that same rectangular area down here in the E1. Feed that into the EufyMake E1, locate that rectangular drop section, and then now you're going to lock that lever into position. You now have your 12 by 16 build plate in. Let's run a nozzle check and get ready to print. So here is your first look at the EufyMake UV Print Studio. We start all projects with a new design located over here in the upper right-hand corner. You're also going to notice a home screen in the upper left-hand corner. This is your new canvas. We want to go right here to the device. You're going to notice this device says idle and it's ready to print. We want to come over here to the right-hand side and click on Test Printing. Go ahead and send your test print to the EufyMake E1. You're going to notice it's going to go through its entire setup process. It's going to go ahead and get that table in focus, and it's going to run a nozzle check. Then we're going to go ahead and take a quick look at that and make sure we're ready to move on forward printing. Once the nozzle check has finished, double check your software and take a look at the print. If you need to make further adjustments from here, follow the on-screen instructions. Our print turned out fantastic. We're ready to start printing. And just like the small build plate, go ahead and carefully remove the paper topping. Starting out, we're going to keep things very basic. We have a round ceramic tile, and one of the most confusing parts about UV printing, and probably one of the #1 questions I get all the time, how do you place an object onto that flatbed and then get your artwork to print exactly where you want it? This is where the magic happens, and this is what I've been waiting to share with you. Go ahead and take your ceramic coaster or whatever object you want to print on first, and watch this. We're simply going to place that anywhere on the table. It does not matter. You know what? On second thought, let's go ahead and kick things up a notch and make it a little bit more complicated and show you how amazing this software is. We're going to go ahead and grab a square ceramic tile and watch this. We're just going to plop that on there in any orientation. Now keep in mind, these are both the same height. So here we are back inside our design software. You will notice we are on the Canvas tab. This white rectangle is a 12 by 16 rectangle, and that represents your build plate. Scroll right over here to the right hand side. This is always going to be your order of operations. You have a mini flatbed, standard flatbed, or rotary. We are working with the standard flatbed. Go ahead and select that, and you're going to want to pay attention to the magic snapshot right here. This is where the magic happens. Go ahead and click snapshot. The EufyMake E1 has a dual infrared laser setup. The unit is going to go ahead and raise that table up, get the material in focus, then it's going to use both of those dual laser beams to scan the entire work area. That is going to measure and tell the machine exactly where our items are placed on that build plate. Number two, it has an overhead camera. It is going to take a series of photographs and give us an exact replica on the screen. This is now where the overhead camera is snapping photographs and moving that build plate forward. You will now want to keep your eyes on your canvas and watch the magic happen. Boom! That is an exact snapshot of the build plate and the materials you want to UV print on. Navigate to the left side of your software. You have Upload, Image AI, Textures, Templates, Elements, Text, Created. Yes, you can upload your own files. You'll notice we've already got a couple in here. For this demonstration, let's just go ahead and do something we've currently uploaded. This is a basic PNG file. We simply downloaded this, and now you see it right over on the canvas. If you want to move this entire thing, click the hand mark, and that'll let you move the entire thing. If you only want to move your artwork, deselect the hand. Now you can move the artwork. Grab the corner and shrink it down. I think you know where we're going with this. Grab that hand, relocate it back to the center of the screen, and keep zooming in until you feel comfortable with where you want it. Now remember, we threw that tile on there crooked on purpose. Now take a look at how we set this one up. Not only do you want to size it, you can now grab this arrow and you can rotate it. So once again, size it to the size you want, get it onto your medium you're going to print. That looks good to me, okay? Now your next order of operations will be to come down here to the lower right-hand corner where it says Start Print Task. Go ahead and press that. When it comes to UV printing, you're gonna have to tell the printer how to lay the ink down. We are printing on a white ceramic tile. So over here under Material, we're gonna go ahead and simply use the ceramic tile option. Under the ink mode, it is currently set to white and then CMYK. We don't want to waste the white ink. We're only going to do the CMYK. You're going to notice in this drop-down tab, there are variations. You will learn these as you get better at UV printing, and we're going to stick with the standard 720 DPI. If you want high quality, this can print 1440 DPI. You'll get an audible sound and locate the start-stop button on the top of the E1 and press that one time. The Eufy E1 will take care of the rest. Grab your chair, sit back, and be amazed. One of the first things you probably notice is that bright purple light. That is a UV light, also known as a ultraviolet light. The key behind this unit right here, they have a specially formulated ink called UV ink. Once that ink is sprayed out and laid down on your material, that UV light is coming right across that ink and instantly curing it. That's how you're able to get a hard, durable, dry to the touch finish. Not only that, you can repeat multiple layers. That is how you start building up those layers and that 3D texturing, creating a nice embossed feel. How cool is that, guys? We UV printed two separate objects, oriented it right onto the material. That took 4 minutes for both of those ceramic coasters. How we feeling? Did that ease some of those tensions? Do you think you could simply place a piece of material onto that workbed, click snapshot, drag your artwork on top of that material and get it printed? Let's keep moving along and throw some tougher items at this new E1 UV desktop printer. You're gonna notice my walls looking pretty sparse and empty. Let's go ahead and grab the EufyMake canvas wall art. We're gonna do a full print on a piece of canvas and have some custom art to hang on our wall. And again, you could really put that on there in any orientation you want. Just to make it a little bit easier, when you're using something like a square or a rectangle, they do have some guidelines around this build plate. Go ahead and get it square. It's just gonna make it a little bit easier for you in the process. Here we are back in the design studio. Let's go ahead and hit home. I go over to the right-hand side, I click New Design, confirm we're on the standard flatbed, which is correct, and again, snapshot. Now, rather than uploading our own file this time, scroll down to the second tab here called Image AI. We're gonna go ahead and click on Image Generator. We're gonna create our own canvas. I'm gonna click on the Create button right here. It says, please enter your creativity. When it comes to using AI, the more descriptive you are, the better results you're gonna get. So for this canvas print, we wanna try to get that print across the entire canvas. So that's gonna show you how I have this laid out. For my material, I'm gonna leave it on custom. For the ink mode, once again, that canvas is white. We can get away with just the color. For the quality, once again, I'm just gonna stick at the standard 720. Guys, this is like a PNG or SVG file. Save your ink. No way, are you guys kidding me? Can you believe that? Check that out. That is a full custom 12 by 12 canvas. We created that artwork over there in the AI software, and now I've got this beautiful piece of artwork that we can hang right here on the wall. Now that we've put this little UV printer through the paces and you've actually seen it make some products that you yourself would like to hang on your wall or possibly start a small side income business and start selling these at craft shows on the weekend, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the software. When you purchase this E1, you will get free access to that software and all kinds of images and access to that AI. However, if you would like over 50,000 images and commercial rights to print and sell these, along with a bunch of other additional AI features, yes, it's going to be a subscription-based program, but here's the deal, guys. We have lots of experience with a commercial UV printer. I personally wouldn't even know how to add the texturing in. Yes, you lay a combination of white layers down to build that texture up. Then that white color is going to come on top of that. Unless you have lots of experience creating those texture patterns in your own art program, you're going to suffer. This Eufy Studio takes all that guesswork out, and those AI credits are going to allow you to experiment with all kinds of textures. Speaking of textures, let's jump back into the software program and print something with some texture. So far, we've only done flat, other than our first test print. So enough talking about that 3D texturing. Let's go ahead and open up one of these iPhone 16 cases. We're going to jump back into that software and we're going to show you how we print a 3D raised texture on a cell phone case. Let's go ahead and swap out the 12 by 16 and drop in the smaller 4 by 12. Lock that into position. And once again, the infrared positioning and snapshot feature makes getting this aligned no problem. Drop that phone case anywhere you want. Back inside the EufyMake Studio, let's go ahead and click right here on Cases. You now have the option to scroll through a bunch of various designs. You can upload your own design or you can create your own design. For this project, I think I'm going to go with something pretty simple here. I like this little R2-D2 iPhone 16 case. Let's go ahead and customize this design. And at this point, I hope you know where we're headed next. We're going to go ahead and look at the print bed, and we are now switched over to the mini flatbed. Once again, there's the magic snapshot. Click. Let's go ahead and rotate this around 180 degrees. Drag that over into position. Now here's what I want you to pay attention to. We've previously under craft mode only focused on the flat version. You will notice for this phone case, we are stepping our game up and we've selected pattern texture. This is going to cost you 2 AI credits. Now let's go ahead and zoom in. This did an absolute amazing job giving us an AI full 3-dimensional rendering. You can zoom in on it, you can rotate it around, and take a quick look at this. The max height is 0.6 millimeters. The smoothness is 5. You even have an option for an invert. The ink mode, color raised. That is what we're going to run with on this one. Let's go ahead and hit start a print task. Under our ink mode and quality, you will notice those are grayed out because we've already selected a predetermined pattern. Let's go ahead and click start printing. And once again, when you get that audible sound and the green light flashing, go ahead and hit start. One thing I want you to remember, anytime you're going with a 3D texture, we talked about this earlier, this unit is going to lay multiple layers of white before coming in and laying down that color. So be mindful anytime you're working with textures, the print will take longer and it will consume much more ink. The estimated runtime for this project is 30 minutes and 4 milliliters of ink, and we get this question all the time. You can absolutely close that front and back cover when you have the small plate in there. Print complete time, that took 24 minutes. Let's go see how this looks. I haven't even taken this out of the UV printer and I'm already losing my mind. That is incredible. Clearly the camera will not do this justice. That is incredible. You can truly see and feel that texture. That is amazing. Guys, I could truly stand here and keep printing various items for you all day long. However, I know everybody's probably already screaming at me. One of the most requested items I review is going to be the Smart Rotary Attachment. This is going to be an additional accessory you can purchase along with the UV DTF Laminating machine. We're going to go ahead and get this rotary attachment unboxed. I'm going to show you how to set it up. I'm going to get our first tumbler installed and we're going to make our first print, and you're going to be absolutely mind blown how easy it is to make a full color UV printed custom tumbler. This right here is what we call a Smart Rotary. You guys are going to ask if you can do a large Stanley style tumbler on this. You're going to be limited to about 100 millimeters in height or 3.94 inches. Therefore, you would only be able to UV print on the larger portion. However, if you would like to do a full style wrap, you can always break out the UV DTF laminating machine and customize those tumblers. However, for today's demonstration, we're going to be using one of these 20-ounce skinny tumblers. And this will probably come as no surprise to you. Following along with that platen interchangeability, you're going to notice that rectangle here on the bottom of this rotary attachment. Let me show you how you get your tumbler installed in here. Go ahead and remove this attachment from the rotary box. That is simply going to thread in to the upper bearing right here in the center. It should thread in very easy and just make it hand tight. Go ahead and select the tumbler you want to print on. We're going to take the end that's open and we're going to insert that onto this roller bearing, and then we're going to put this silver lip on the roller wheels. While balancing this with one hand, we are using the center vertical bearing to apply forward pressure, and then the tumbler is going to rest on the bottom wheels just like the front. Notice the bottom of the tumbler matches up to the wheels and the front of the tumbler matches up to the wheels. Now you'll notice this lever on the top. Use one hand to hold the rotary tight, slide that lever forward. Did you notice that little extension piece we just threaded on is now putting downward pressure on this tumbler? As that tumbler rotates and spins, that's going to keep that tumbler from falling out like some of those really expensive rotary attachments on the market. Once again, unlock your current platen, remove it. Go ahead and grab the Smart Rotary attachment and place that in. Lock that into position. Now, if you guys were impressed with the snapshot, wait until you see what this Smart Rotary can do. Once again, we'll navigate over here to the right-hand side and we're going to go ahead and select Rotary. You will notice right out the gate that our canvas size changed. Here's where the magic really comes in. You're going to notice that does not say snapshot. That now says auto measure. Go ahead and click the auto measure icon. For this tumbler, we're doing a straight, no handle, no taper. So we're going to go ahead and select the go to auto measure. Once you have that tumbler loaded inside of the Smart Rotary attachment, you will notice it is going to raise that tumbler up, get it in focus. Anytime you work with a custom tumbler, you normally have to measure the circumference, do a bunch of math, and find its home origin. EufyMake has eliminated all of that hassle. Not only does this Smart Rotary attachment level your tumbler, those infrared beams also rotated that cup and measured the circumference and the diameter. You do not have to do any of that. Now you'll notice under the auto measure, the results, upper diameter, bottom diameter, and the height. Now you want to make sure you hit the replace canvas and the center canvas will auto resize. Boom. Now for this project, I would like to go ahead and print my own logo on this tumbler. So we went over to the upload file portion and I'm going to simply drag and drop the artwork I want. And again, this E1 has taken all the guesswork out of this. You will simply center your artwork on the canvas and you'll notice this button that says preview. Go ahead and click that. Holy cow, did that actually just do a full render 3D image? You know how many times you say, should I do 3 inches? Should I do 3.5 inches? Should I do 3 3/4? It's always a little bit of guesswork. Well, take a look at that. You can now absolutely get a good visual representation of how that's going to look on that tumbler. Once again, let's take a quick look at our material. We're going to go ahead and stick with custom. And once again, we are printing on white, so we're going to save that white ink. We're going to only choose CMYK. I do not want a varnish finish on this. That tumbler took approximately 6 minutes to print. Let's go ahead and get it out and take a quick look at it. That is absolutely mind-blowing. Now, if you're familiar with custom tumblers, laser engraved tumblers are all the rage. Can you imagine coming to the market with a full printed UV full color custom tumbler? This is how you separate yourself from the crowd. Don't forget, we printed this with a flat texture on a tumbler. Just because you're printing on something cylindrical does not take away the feature. You guys can still create custom textured patterns even on these cylindrical devices like these tumblers. Now you might be yelling at the camera, big deal Ryan, that was a skinny tumbler, that's easy to do. Well, what happens when you get something like this that has a taper on it? Let's jump back over there into the software and I'm gonna show you the real magic. Now, unfortunately in the past, this is where I see people start to crumble and fall apart and they lose all of their confidence. EufyMake has taken all of that fear away from you. Let's go check this out in the software. Once again, we'll hit the auto measure. However, this time we do have a taper in the cup. We want to select that middle option. Now we will hit go to auto measure. You will notice this image has this little border around it. This would be an absolute perfect time to go ahead and click on this AI remover icon and remove the background. Now you know we're going to hit that preview button and take a look at that. Once again, a full 3D rendering and we could really see how that's going to print on that cup. Once the job is complete, you'll get the audible sound and you'll get an after action report. That took 6 minutes to print. Okay, buddy, I made something for you. Okay. Would you like to see it? Yeah. Go ahead and open that front cover. Yeah. Okay, can you reach in there and grab that out? Okay, go ahead and hold it up to the camera. What is it, buddy? On a tumbler? Yeah. Buddy, guess what? That's your personal drink cup now. Can you hold up the image and show the camera? What do you think? Cool. Is that a double thumbs up? Well, what do you guys think? Not only did we do a skinny straight tumbler, but we did a very difficult tapered tumbler. Now, when I first got into UV printing, I didn't even know UV DTF laminating was even a thing. It has now become one of my most favorite things to do with a UV printer. Obviously, we can UV print on anything we could fit inside of this UV printer. But what happens when you want to put a UV print on something that's an odd shape or it's too large or it does not fit inside of this UV printer? Well, guess what? We're going to utilize something called A-film, and Eufy supplied us with this 25 pack of their standard UV DTF A-film, and this is a paper-based version. Not only did they provide us with a full-size sheet, we also have that smaller platen. You don't always necessarily need to run a big sheet, so here we go. We've even got a 50 pack of the smaller version. So in the UV printing world, this is called a UV DTF transfer hot laminator. You'll simply open this little front cover, lift this up. This blue roll right here, this is called B-film. These are your rollers, and these are where the heat is gonna come into play. Let's go ahead and get everything set up, and I'm gonna walk you through this entire process. And the EufyMake laminator includes some A-film, a weeding tool, a squeegee, a sticky plate, and this looks like a little cutting mat as well. Once again, the quick change system comes in absolutely clutch. And let's go ahead and put the small platen in for this project. Go ahead and locate the adhesive mat. You're gonna notice a grid on this small platen. Go ahead and align that corner and keep it nice and flat. Now go ahead and remove the film. Go ahead and grab one of your sticker sheets or A-film. You'll need to peel up the clear film and find the tacky side. That's the side that goes up. Go ahead and align this onto your sticky and go ahead and press that down. You'll now notice the adhesive mat isn't going anywhere, and we also have the A-film stuck down. Go ahead and place that inside the E1, lock that into position. You will now need to remove that last final clear film. So at this point, I think you know the program. We've got our mini flatbed selected. We've already done our snapshot. Let's go ahead and click Start a Print Task. The only thing different under ink mode, we're gonna go down to sticker. Go ahead and hit Start Printing. Now this is called your B-film. Go ahead and find where that starts and go ahead and peel some out and just dangle it down like below. Now we need to prep or feed that B-film through the rollers. Go ahead and grab this little feeder card that's up there in the lid. Go ahead and close that lid. You're gonna take your feeder board and you're just gonna place it right here in the front, and that's gonna automatically start feeding the B-film through. Go ahead and press this down and use the cutter. Now the B-film is prepped, you're gonna find the large heating button and press that. You'll notice the status indicator is green, the B-film is green, and the heating element is flashing in amber. When this is ready, it'll turn a solid green. Let's go ahead and unlock the platen, and you get your first look at the stickers. Those turned out incredible. Now let me show you how we laminate these and prep them for application. Go ahead and remove your entire adhesive mat and the A-film from your small platen. Be very careful that you don't drop that on the floor, because remember, this is still tacky, guys. Set it right here on that front lip, feed it into the laminator, and it will take care of the rest. Give me that. The unit has automatically stopped. You're gonna lower down the automatic cutter and give that a nice slice, and there you have it. I mean, how cool is that, guys? That was a very simple, straightforward process, and just like that, you now have UV laminated decal transfers. Now what you want to do is peel away that adhesive mat. Make sure you grab the A-film backing and go ahead and separate like so. This is what your final product will look like. You now have your A-film and B-film covered. You can touch both sides. It is not sticky. You could always use something like scissors or an X-Acto knife, but let's get fancy and use the pre-cutter that EufyMake provided with us. How cool is that? Open that bad boy up, give it an auto slice, feed in your next sheet, give that a nice slice as well. Now some of you might be wondering, why would you UV print onto these transfers versus just printing directly onto an object? You're absolutely right. Anytime you can direct UV print, that's going to be your best bet. However, some of you might not have a rotary attachment, and you can print UV transfers like this, or you can print UV transfers like this and sell them to other people that don't even have a UV printer. Now let's just say you have a UV printer, but you don't have access to a rotary attachment, or maybe you want to print on something like this and the handle's going to get in the way. Go ahead and grab the UV transfer decal you would like to apply. This happens to be a powder coated travel mug. Go ahead and separate that UV decal. It's going to peel apart just like so. Once again, this side is now tacky. You do not want to touch that. Once the UV transfer is applied, go ahead and locate your squeegee. You want to give that a really good pressing. Now let's go ahead and find a corner I like to keep mine kind of low profile down to the cup. You don't want to rip this in a rapid, fast fashion. Just go ahead and give that a nice gentle pull down. And that right there is what you call a UV transfer decal. And that is how you apply it to any type of hard surface you want to. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you clicked on this video and you're still here with me, was I kidding? I truly consider this everything you need to know about the all-new EufyMake E1 desktop UV printer featuring the world's first 3D texturing. Clearly, this is an extremely long video. You guys know me, I'm extremely thorough. I know you guys work extremely hard for your money, and there's been a lot of criticism or skepticism out there about a budget-friendly or a desktop-style UV printer. You guys know we are all about transparency here at the Rise and Grind Workshop. We've been blessed and have had this little E1 UV printer for a couple weeks now, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. We've been running this thing on some live shows. I've been putting it through the paces. You clearly saw me put it through all different types of materials here, and this thing has been running flawless. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some of the elephants in the room. A lot of questions, comments, and concerns have popped up during my live shows, so I'm going to go ahead and address all of those right now. That way you guys will have full confidence that when this thing launches on Kickstarter, you guys are going to take a look at the link down below in the description and make sure you use my Kickstarter link. Now let's go ahead and quickly talk about some of the pros and cons of the software. During setup, you did notice there was a Ethernet and LAN connection on this unit. As of recording this, it is a cloud-based software only. Yes, I know some of you absolutely hate that. For me personally, this thing has been so flawless, the quality of print has been so on point, that would absolutely not be a deal breaker for me. But just giving you guys full transparency, I have listened to you over the past couple weeks and I've relayed those concerns over to the EufyMake team. I personally agree with you as well. Now let's talk about everybody's fears. Print head clogs, and the maintenance of this machine. The EufyMake team has done a phenomenal job doing a bunch of R&D prior to releasing this unit. I've had a great in-depth conversation with the team. We really wanted to make sure that anybody could purchase a unit like this, put it inside of their home office or small business, and if life gets in the way and you start to get busy, it's easy to let a couple days, maybe even a week or two go by. And that's where the E1 shines. You guys saw earlier in the setup video, we installed that Jet Clean system. The Jet Clean system has 3 stages of cleaning and maintenance, and it takes care of everything for you. The very first one is a flash. This is when the printer flashes an extremely small amount of ink through the print heads. Once you stop printing, this repeats about every hour or so. Next up is the basic cleaning system, and that uses the bottom pump to go ahead and flush some ink through the system, which is going to help keep those nozzles clean and unclogged. And the third and most important, in my opinion, is the Jet Clean system. Like I said, if life gets in the way and 3 days go by. Now earlier in the setup video, you saw us install that Jet Clean pack on the side. That pack also has a nozzle cleaning solution in it, and after 3 days go by, it's going to go ahead and purge the ink from the lines and the nozzle, and it's going to start pumping that Jet Clean solution throughout the entire system. That's going to keep your print head moist and prevent those deadly clogs. So what happens when your Jet Clean system runs out of cleaning fluid or it gets full? It's very simple. You open the side cover, remove it, and you replace it. Next up, we did not do it in the video, but yes, this can print on leatherette. That neutral ink is going to allow you to have flex in your material. The number one question we get asked all the time, can this unit do the print cut feature? Guys, remember something. A UV printer is simply going to print the artwork. You will create 2 registration marks in your artwork setup. Once you've printed this, then yes, you can transfer that leatherette sheet or acrylic sheet over into a CO2 laser engraver, utilize those registration marks, and start making items like leather patch hats, keychains, backpack tags, or anything your creative mind can come up with. Now you guys know we do have a small commercial UV printer out in the workshop, so I do have a pretty good idea of what a commercial printer can do compared to something like this entry-level or hobby printer, and I hate to even say entry-level or hobby. At the end of the day, this can still print up to 1440 DPI, and it can rival that UV printer we have out in the garage. And yes, guys, at the end of the day, the ink is probably probably going to cost more per milliliter versus a large commercial unit. You got to remember something. You are not leasing a $50,000 UV printer. This is an extremely budget-friendly, very affordable, but compact and powerful unit. So yes, you're going to experience a little give and take. If that's a deal breaker, I feel sorry for you. I would gladly buy a couple of these. I've been so blown away and impressed. This is going to allow everybody who's wanted to get into UV printing, or maybe you just don't have the space or want to deal with a large, heavy format machine. This machine right here is more than capable of starting your small business. If anything, it's going to get your feet wet. You're going to see if you have an aptitude for UV printing, and you can start to build up your customer base. You might invest in a second unit, or maybe at that point in time, you do start to look at investing into a larger machine, and you could always have this as a backup or standby unit and utilize it with that smart rotary attachment. So based on my UV printing experience and the few weeks we've had with this machine and all the paces I've put it through, I'm going to absolutely say the Eufy team hit a grand slam with this one. I would highly recommend anybody that is slightly interested in picking up a UV printer to pick up the Eufy E1 UV desktop flatbed printer today. And as you guys know, we are extremely blessed here at the Rise and Grind Workshop. I would not be able to unbox and deal with all these cool machines if it was not for the support of you guys. So I greatly appreciate everybody that stuck with it. I know this has been an extremely long video, but I wanted to make sure I covered everything from A to Z so you felt confident once that Kickstarter dropped that you could buy one of these things and be super excited. As of this video, these things are going to be ready to ship after the Kickstarter campaign around June. And lastly, a big heartfelt thank you to the amazing team over there at EufyMake. I feel completely honored and privileged that I was selected to get early access to the unit. I've been having an absolute blast on this thing, and I truly hope I made you guys proud and delivered the information to you guys out there in the audience. I truly think you guys are going to love this machine. Thank you to everybody that stayed through this entire video, and if you want to do me a huge solid, if you got any value out of any of the services I've provided, on April 29th, this thing is going to officially kick off on Kickstarter. I'm going to have a link to that down below in the description, and if you guys gained any value out of this video, please consider coming back prior to your purchase and using our Kickstarter code. Thank you to everybody that made it this far into the video. We're going to catch you on the next one.